Hey there, welcome back to our new video of this shell scripting course. In the previous videos of this course, we learned what is shell scripting, why we need it. We learned some new terms and some important commands. We also saw how to set up a scripting environment. So if you haven't watched the previous videos in this course, I highly recommend that you do so. Those lessons provide an essential background knowledge that will make today's content even more understandable. So building on what we have learned so far and taking our first step, today's topic is creating a simple script. And it's an exciting one because this is where the theory meets practical. Alright, now without wasting much further time, let's get started. So as we discussed in the previous video, on my left hand side of the screen, I have the Visual Studio Code where I will be writing our script. And on the right hand side of the screen, I have the terminal open. In here, I will be executing the script. Now, the very first thing we do when we start to write a script is we specify the shell we want to use. Yes, you heard right. We have to let know the operating system which shell to use. For instance, since we are going to use bash as the shell, we will tell the operating system, hey, look, I'm going to use bash as the shell. So run this script as the bash script. Now, how we do this is by using something called as shebang. So shebang is the very first line we write on a script. It is denoted by two characters, a hash symbol and an exclamation mark. So in the very first line of the script, we write shebang. So a hash symbol and then an exclamation mark. It is then followed by the path of the shell. Now, since we are using bash and the bash shell is typically located in the bin directory, so the path will be /bin/bash. So if you want to check out, we can go to the bin directory. So if I do cd/bin and hit enter, and let me resize the window, and then if I do ls and hit enter, you can see a lot of binaries here. And if you scroll up a bit and go to the B alphabets, and here you can see our bash shell. So this is how we define a shell using shebang, and it will tell the operating system to use bash as the interpreter. We can also change the shell if we want. So here if I write ZSH instead of bash, it will tell the operating system to use ZSH as the interpreter. Now, after defining the shell, the next step is to add comment. In computer programming, comments are simple human readable descriptions written inside the source code. We use comments to provide an explanation or documentation on what the code intends to perform. So commenting makes your code more understandable for you and for anyone else who intends to work on the same code in the future. Now, comments in shell scripting are defined by using a hash symbol. Okay, so anything written on the same line after the hash symbol will be considered as a comment by the interpreter and won't be executed with the script. So what should you include in a comment? You can add any piece of information that you feel important to the code, such as program's purpose, like what it will do, why was it created. You can also add the dates on which the program was written or date on which the program was last modified. So any piece of information that you may find useful, you can add it. Especially adding comments become even more important if you are working in a company or a team, because of what logic you have created a code might not be understandable by some another coder by merely looking at the program. It may happen that something that seems obvious to one person may not be the same for other person. I once read a meme and it says always code, as if the guy who ends up maintaining your code will be a violent psychopath who knows where you live. So make sure that you start using comments whenever you write a code. So for example, in this script, I will add a comment. This is my first shell file. And also make sure you are saving your file. So click on Ctrl+S to save the file. Okay. Now the next thing I wanted to show you is how we can run a command from the script itself. So for example, let's take the echo command. Now, whenever you want to generate an output or display a text message, we use the echo command. It is the simplest command for printing in the terminal. So just to explain, let me run the command on the terminal first. So if I do echo, I love cheesecake, and then hit enter, you can see it printed the statement as it is on the screen. Now let's try running the same echo command from our script and see how it works out. So first let us add a comment running the echo command. Okay, now come on the next line, and here I will write the command echo I love cheesecake. Okay, now save the file. So our file name is new shell.sh, and to execute a shell file in the terminal, you need to use a dot and a /, and then you can add the name of your file. So my file name is new shell.sh, and if I hit enter, oh, it gives an error and it says permission denied. Now we are getting this error because we don't have the permission to execute this shell file. So if I run the command ls la and then the file name and hit enter, you can see we don't have the execute permission. We only have the read and write permission. So what I will do is I will pass the command chmod and then the execute permission and then the file name. So new shell.sh, hit enter. And now if I again pass the ls command, you can see we have the execute permission now. Now we can easily execute our shell file. So I will clear the terminal. Now let us execute our shell file again. So /new shell.sh. Hit enter, and you can see it says I love cheesecake. Let us print another statement. So echo today's weather is beautiful. Save the script and let us execute it. So again the same command new shell.sh, hit enter. Oh, we got an error on line 6 saying unmatched. So what went wrong? The cause of the error is this quotation mark in the apostrophe s. So Om, are you saying we can't use a quotation mark in shell scripting? No, we can, but there are certain rules in bash for the usage of quotation mark. We will be covering all about the usage of quotation mark in the next video, but just for now, if you add double quotes around this sentence, we can bypass the error. So let me save the file, and if we execute our shell file again, you can see the error was removed. Now I wanted to show you something. So let me add a space between these two commands. Okay, now if I execute the file again, you can see we have no space between these two results despite of giving a blank space line on the script. Now this is happening because extra blank lines in the shell scripts are often ignored during the execution, and they don't produce visible output in the terminal when the script is run. So if you want to produce a blank line, you can use the echo command with no arguments. So if I pass the command echo and then save the file, and then we execute our file again, see, it created an empty line in the output, making it more visually appealing and readable. Now, do you remember in the starting of this course when we were discussing the key functionality of shell script, we discussed how can we execute multiple commands from a single script. Do you remember? Let us try it out. So let me add a few more commands to the script. So echo creating a new file. Then I will keep on adding echo between the commands to create spaces. Okay. Then the next command will be pwd, then echo, then I will add ls, then echo again. Then the next command I will add is to create a new file. So touch new file.txt, echo, and then again ls. Save the script and let us execute it. So new shell.sh, hit enter, and you can see it successfully executed all our commands. So first we asked to echo a statement. So it says creating a new file. Then we asked it to print the current working directory. So it printed /home/Kali, which we are currently in, as you can see. Then we asked to list all the files and directories that are present inside the Kali directory. So it listed all the files and directories. Then we asked to create a new file using the touch command. So obviously we won't get the output here because it's not a displayable command. But then we asked for ls again. So it printed the updated version of files and directories present under the Kali directory, which also contains our new file.txt. So it successfully executed all our commands. So you can see what benefits a script file bring to us, that we can execute multiple commands in a single go without doing any of the much hassle. So that's all for this lecture, guys. I hope you are enjoying our content, and if you are finding our work useful, please hit that like and subscribe button, as it keeps us motivated to create more content for you guys for free. So take care and have a nice day ahead.